Opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Shaw Cable Systems or of the station. Through our access policy, we provide the opportunity for community groups and individuals to express their points of view.
Welcome to the Huddle. I'm Scott Taylor. That's John Mackey. This is my new old Winnipeg Sun mug. It's pretty nice.
Title sponsor of the Blue and Gold.
Title sponsor of Blue and Gold. And the Blue and Gold game was tremendous.
Sure was.
And we have Mason Bennett on today, who played in the Blue and Gold game and was tremendous.
Outstanding.
Really a tremendous football game. And a kid who's 15 years old, played JV last year, shows up in this game, and I don't think a lot of people expected the 15-year-old defensive line.
Well, he was a Red River Cup star, right? When he was with the U16.
Step. You and I both.
It is. It is a.
He's playing. He's 15 playing against 17.
Yeah. All the 16-year-olds are in tough with the bigger guys, but there was no signs of slowing him down.
Boy, not at all. It was tremendous. We'll talk to him. We also have two guys who actually play a lot of important football games in this country. Eddie Steele and Dawn Amasya.
Oramasionwu. There you go.
The proper way to pronounce it is Oramasionwu.
Yeah. A locker partner when I was in U of M.
Yeah, right. He was your locker partner.
Mac Master Flex is what he called me. You can call me whatever you want. Just don't eat me. He's huge. He is Eddie as well. They're former Clippers and former Bisons, and now they're going to be Eskimos together.
Yeah,
How about that?
But they both started out playing in community football. Eddie with the Nomads and Dawn with the Greendale Falcons.
Yeah.
So they've come a long way, and both have great stories. And Dean Lytle's on the show. Talk about his football camp. Dean Lytle, former Bomber, who also
former Notre Dame Irish too.
Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
National champion.
And also one of the members of the Huddle.
Yes.
Magazine, and a good friend of ours. So Dean Lytle will be on the show too. So we have a very, very busy program today. Taylor Mackey will be back. We're going to talk to two Edmonton Eskomos, Eddie Steele and Dawn Amasya, coming up right after this on the Huddle. It's community created on Shaw TV.
Hi, I'm Jordan Yance, quarterback of the Manitoba Bisons. You're watching the Huddle. Community created on Shaw TV.
As promised, we have from the Edmonton Eskomos and University of Manitoba Bisons and Kelvin Clippers and Greendale Falcons, the great Dawn Amasya, defensive and or tackle, I guess.
D-tackle,
yeah. D-tackle, one of the top players in the Canadian Football League. And thanks for joining us.
No
Great
problem.
to see you. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back to the Greendale Falcons days. Why did you decide to play football? I mean, you've become an outstanding CFL player going into your sixth year, right? Sixth season in the league. Where did it all start and why did it start? Fifth year. Okay.
Yeah. I was a chubby kid growing up. I loved playing video games. My mom wanted to get me out of the house, so she's like, you have to play something. So I was playing soccer. I didn't really have that much interest in it, so she's like, pick something else. So I chose football. And
how old were you?
I think I was about 13 years old, 13 or 14, yeah.
So you went to Greendale, signed up.
Yeah.
Where'd they put you to start?
I remember my first game, they stuck me on the O-line, and I didn't like how people were always coming at me, being the aggressor. I was like, Coach, I want to play something else, and they just put me on the D-line.
And from that day, so it was like game 2, you were a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And you've been there ever since.
Yeah.
That's a tough position to play. I mean, you're down in the trenches, and all sorts of things can happen in there. For people who have never had that opportunity, what's it like to play that position at your level of football?
It's very physical, but I wouldn't have it any other way. When there's a play where there's not as much physicality, I kind of feel like, I don't feel right about it. So I like the contact, and I like being right in the middle of everything.
You were a Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
Yep.
And we're going to go back even further and talk about the Bisons and Kelvin. But I wanted to ask you this story because we had this conversation previously. But I wanted to ask your relationship with Richard Harris and how the passing of Richard Harris contributed to you being with the Edmonton Eskomos today. Tell us a bit about that story.
I mean, Coach Harris is the reason why I'm probably still currently in the CFL. He was patient with me. I remember my first exhibition game didn't go too well. I started the game and it was just everything was just 1,000 miles an hour. So it was fast. But Coach Harris after the game, he's like, you know what, it's going to slow down. It was your first time, and then, he was my main advocate. So I'll always remember him for that. And be forever grateful.
So he was your main advocate, and how difficult is it to come out of university football in Canada, step into the Canadian Football League, and yet you have to do it so quickly because training camp is so short. There's only 2 preseason games. You don't have a great opportunity to make the team. You have to impress somebody, and obviously Coach Harris was the guy.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. Like I said, you go out there, it's a lot faster. But then once you reach that point where it starts to slow down, it's just football again, and you feel right at home.
At what point does it slow down?
You know what? It takes a while. Like for me, coming in, I was behind Doug Brown, so I realized the fact that I wasn't out there every time. I was just out there on relief or when he was hurt. So it took a while for me, but once I started to get out there, more consistently, I started a few games for Winnipeg. That's when it started to slow down. I just realized it was back to square one. It's just football.
Now, Coach Harris talked to you about your first game, or near your first game, when Doug Brown, it looked like he wasn't going to be able to play, and you had that conversation with him. Tell us about that story.
Yeah, that was a funny story. I remember flying out for my first regular season game, and I saw Doug in the front of the plane. It wasn't looking too good, he looked kind of sick, but I didn't think anything of it. I was like, we still have one more day. He'll be back tomorrow. So, went to sleep, woke up that morning, and then I'm sitting eating breakfast, and Coach Harris comes up to me. He's like, I think we're gonna start you today. I'm like, what? You're starting? You're starting me today? I'm like, and he's like, yeah, Doug's not feeling too good. So, it was. I didn't have much time to think about it, which was a good part about it. So I was just, 3 hours later, it was bam, I'm on the field, and it was one of my greatest memories. Yeah.
And it went well.
Yeah, it went pretty good. I picked up a sack in my first game, and it was just like I was playing for the team that I grew up watching, so it didn't get much better than that.
Now you left the team you grew up watching.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's time to leave and start something new, and I wouldn't change where I'm at right now for anything in the world. I think Edmonton is the right place for me. It's a great coaching staff. I really love my teammates, so I'm happy where I'm at.
But there was a reason you left Winnipeg.
I mean, the economics of the situation, we were pointing towards Edmonton, and just the fact that Coach Harris wasn't there anymore. I just felt like it was time to start fresh.
People tend to forget that this is a business, isn't it? And it's a limited business for you. You're not going to play 20 years or 30 years of your life in the Canadian Football League.
Exactly. So you got to try to, make as much money as you can when you're there, because it isn't going to last forever. We like to think it will, but people get old, and then you think that it's never going to happen to you, but
no, but when you're young, you're bulletproof.
Exactly.
You're 27. You probably think you've got 15 more years left at this.
Yeah. So, but every year takes its toll off. Like last year was my first year starting every game, and it was it was rough going through every game. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of bumps and bruises, and you're in the off season, you recover a lot, but it takes a lot out of you.
It is a very, very difficult game. And when you started high school, how tough was the jump from playing minor football to high school, and then when you went to the University of Manitoba, how tough was that jump?
You know what? I think minor football to high school was a huge jump. Because also I remember my first game at Calvin, and it was fast. I felt like it was real. I was like, I don't know if I can, if I'm going to be able to catch up with all, because they were all bigger than me. They were all there was grade 12 kids, and I was in grade 9 or grade 10, so it was just, that was another big jump for me.
And then to the University of Manitoba. Did you redshirt your first year? Because a lot of kids do.
Yeah, I redshirted my first year at U of M.
And then picked it up as you went along, and then things fell into place, and you won a Vanier Cup.
Yeah.
Nice to be a winner, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Now, it's interesting to me that your greatest moment was probably your first game starting with the Bombers, not the Vanier Cup win.
The Vanier Cup was also a big-time, huge moment for me and my teammates, too. We went undefeated 2 years in a row, and that was another great locker room. My locker was right beside John Mackey, so we have a lot of memories too. So that was another great time in my life.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You gonna play 10 questions with us?
Sure.
When we come back, Dawn Amasya is gonna play 10 questions with the Huddle. This is the Huddle, community created on Shaw TV.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to have my seat?
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
We played 10 questions with Andrew Harris, our second professional football player to play 10 questions with us here on the Huddle. Dawn Amasya is going to play our favorite game, and it always starts with, Your favorite sports team other than the team you play for?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Not a basketball team.
Basketball, LA Lakers if we're talking basketball.
Yeah, because you told me you were a Lakers
Oh,
fan.
I'm a big-time Laker fan, yeah.
But Steelers.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite athlete growing up?
Joey Porter.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've never been a linebacker?
No, I just loved how Joey Porter ran after the quarterbacks and the way he talked a lot of smack before games, so yeah, it's my favorite.
Now, you're a quiet guy. Are you a smack talker?
I talk quite a little bit smack on the field. I'm quiet off the field, but yeah, I talk a lot on the field.
Your favorite movie of all time?
The Program.
Yes. There's a number of players who like The Program. Your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show right now, I'd say Big Brother, some show I keep up with. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Your favorite style of music?
Hip hop, rap.
Your favorite entertainer?
Kevin Hart.
It's about number 10 for Kevin Hart. He's huge. When you're not playing football, what do you like to do?
When I'm not playing football, normally I'm working out, but other than that, I'm into movies. I love watching a lot of movies. Yeah.
As a pro athlete, where's your favorite place to play?
I like playing at Commonwealth, like we talked about before. That's where I got my first career sack when I was a rookie. So ever since then, I've loved playing there.
Commonwealth Stadium. Your favorite sport that isn't football?
Basketball.
Yeah, I could have bet that as you're a Laker fan. And our favorite question of all time, number 10, Betty or Veronica?
Betty.
Thanks, you're a good sport. Dawn Amasya of the Edmonton Eskomos. Thanks so much for joining us. He will be the cover with Eddie Steele of the next issue of the Huddle magazine, and we're looking forward to that. When we come back, we've got lots more on the Huddle. This is the Huddle, community created on Shaw TV.
Hi, I'm Carl Volney, running back for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You're watching the Huddle on Shaw TV.
The Edmonton Eskomos theme continues here on the Huddle. My guest is Eddie Steele.
How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing great. The last time you were on the show, there were still some knee issues. No knee issues anymore.
No knee issues. I'm almost at 100%. I'm probably about 95, 98%.
What is left? Is it just confidence at this stage?
Yeah, confidence and just some pain after some workouts, but that's about it. Getting some muscle back still, but I'm almost there.
Camp starts
June 2nd.
So you got plenty. Taking a month.
Oh yeah, I got a month. Yeah, I got a lot of time.
Eddie's going to be one of our cover boys. Cover boy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you should be doing makeup ads. One of our cover boys, along with Dawn Amasya. We had a great photo shoot at Lloyd Louis' studio. A tremendous shoot. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, he did
and
a good
you've
job.
Seen the picture.
Yeah, he did a really good job. He's good at what he does.
Yeah, it's going to be an outstanding cover, and that will come out sometime in June, probably around the middle of training camp. So it'll be great. Eddie, what are you expecting heading into Eskimos training camp? Just a month away.
There's going to be a lot of competition. They have a lot of good Canadian, not just Canadian, but D-line talent in general. So we're going to be pretty deep at D-line. So we're going to be fighting for spots on the field. So it's going to be a lot of competition out there.
Now you're going with your friend Dawn that you played at Kelvin with, at Manitoba with, now with the Eskimos. Brian Dobie and I had a conversation at the news conference before the start of Bison's spring camp, and he said that he didn't think there'd be any other players, maybe on earth, that have had this situation where you were partners on the D-line in high school, in university, and in pro.
It's pretty rare. It doesn't happen often, that's for sure.
Now, you're both tackles, right?
Yeah, same position, D-tackle.
That'd be quite interesting if the two of you start there in the middle of that line.
Yeah, that would be. That'd be pretty special.
How was it at Kelvin? How was it at U of M playing with Don?
It was good. He always was. He's a couple of years older than me, right? So he always kind of had that mentorship on me. He's the leader and got me in the gym working out and everything. So yeah, I credit a lot of my drive goes towards him, you know, because seeing the success he's had throughout the years, it just makes me want that because we've always been so close with each other throughout the years on every level.
Now, he's a couple years older than you, but he's going into his 5th year in the CFL. You're going into your 4th. It's not like you're a rookie into this thing.
No, I've been going for 4 years now. It flies by, actually. It's amazing. Just got to stay healthy and have a good season.
Yeah, it's one of the things we talked about is that the importance of making your hay right now, because this isn't a career that lasts for a long time.
No, if you're lucky, you get, I mean, the average is 3.5 years. So, you know,
Well, that's of the guys who stay.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so many players have just don't get out of training camp.
Exactly. It's hard, man. Training camp is a grind I've never experienced.
Yeah, but you're a Canadian who made it in the CFL. And we talk every year when we go into training camp about all of the young players who have to kind of make it in a week and a half of training camp and 2 preseason games. You don't get a lot of opportunity.
No, you really don't, especially with the vets there getting their reps in front of you, right? So you're fighting and clawing to get any rep you can get on that practice field. So when you do get them, you have to really make them count and look good on film, or else it's so easy just to be overlooked.
Now, have you talked to your coaches in Edmonton? You know what to expect this year?
Yeah, I've been out there a couple months ago, talked to Kavis, talked to Greg Marshall, D coordinator, talked to everyone there, and they're really positive, really happy. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting year.
How cool would it be to have 2 Winnipeggers starting on that defensive line?
Be pretty sweet.
It would be pretty sweet. You're going to come back and play 10 questions?
Yes, sir.
Eddie Steele, now becoming a regular on this program. It's good to see you. He'll be back with 10 questions. Our favorite part of the whole show. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll do that right after this break. This is the Huddle, community created on Shaw TV.
Go ahead, ready?
I'm Forrest Whitaker for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and this is my daughter, True.
Hi.
Life is full of choices. And many years ago, I chose to become a vegetarian. And it's one of the best choices I've ever made. And since True's dad was a vegetarian, she decided to be a vegetarian too. You may decide to go vegetarian for better health, for a better environment, or you could be like True and I and just decide you don't want to eat meat anymore.
I love animals and I love being a vegetarian.
I'm Forrest Whitaker.
And I'm True Whitaker, and
we're vegetarians.
And we're vegetarians.
Welcome back to the Huddle. Scott Taylor, Eddie Steele. It is 10 questions time.
Let's do it.
My favorite time, and it's hard.
I believe you.
So don't be stuck for an answer. Your favorite sports team?
Minnesota Vikings.
Your favorite athlete? Growing up, the guy that you thought.
Kevin Garnett.
Basketball guy. That's interesting. Your favorite movie of all time?
The Dark Knight. Batman.
My favorite movie of all time is coming up on Friday, probably tonight.
Which one?
Or last week, rather. Iron Man 3. You'll see Iron Man 3.
Nice.
Favorite TV show?
Fresh Prince.
Wow, that's going back.
Yeah.
That's out of the archives. It was good, though. Favorite style of music?
Hip-hop, R&B.
Favorite entertainer?
That's a good question.
Not immediately Kevin Hart. That's interesting because the last 4 or 5
I do like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is pretty funny. He's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Kevin Hart is pretty good.
Yeah, I figured I'd be prompting you.
He is
with
pretty
that
good.
one.
That's a good one, actually.
What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Work out, train.
Now, but you never were like that, were you, when you were younger?
No, never until about 5 years ago, but it's taken over my life.
It's amazing. Your favorite place to play football?
Winnipeg.
You like playing at home? That's interesting, because your friend Dawn liked Commonwealth Stadium, so you may end up liking that better.
I've had some bad experiences there. So.
Yes, one very bad one in particular.
One very bad one.
Your favorite sport that isn't football?
Basketball. And
the question of all questions, Betty or Veronica?
Veronica.
And our floor director, Rebecca Horan, is a very, very happy girl today. Another for the Veronica slot on the list.
Perfect.
Check it off.
Perfect.
Eddie, thanks.
Appreciate that, Scott.
It's good fun. Eddie Steele of the Edmonton Eskomos, and of course, from the the North Winnipeg Nomads, from the Kelvin Clippers, and from the University of Manitoba Bison. So it's great to have you on. When we come back, we've got lots more on this kind of semi-Edmonton Eskimos special this week. You're watching The Huddle, community created on Shaw TV.
Hi, I'm Keto Polo from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and you're watching The Huddle on Shaw TV.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. As we promised, we've got lots more on The Huddle today. With me, Mason Bennett, who is a favorite of this program. I want to talk to you about the Blue and Gold game. You played tremendously well in the Blue and Gold game. But you've also got the Canada Cup coming up.
Oh, yeah.
This is a huge experience. Now, did you go to London last year?
No.
So last year was your first Blue and Gold, but you didn't go with the team. This year, I'm suspecting you're going to go.
Yeah, hopefully.
What kind of preparation do you have before you go to something like a Canada Cup? What's the practice regimen for you, and how much workup time do you have?
Well, I've been training with McDowell's. They got me really prepared for this, and then I think we have a couple U18. If I make the final cuts, we have a couple of practices in the next month and so.
So McDowell's has been good for you, obviously.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing with Dave Beakley.
Well, I've been going there for 4 seasons now, and we do lots of speed training, but we also do lots of weightlifting too, which helps a lot. And the speed training helps too.
Now, you look more like a speed guy than a weight guy.
Yeah.
When you get set to play in July and next fall, you weigh about, what, 207 right now?
Yeah.
What do you want to weigh for school next year?
215, 217.
Does that worry you about losing the speed?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of want to be
because when you run a 4.77 40 at 15, you don't want to get too big.
Yeah, like I almost stay in between, gain more weight, but also keep my speed at the same time.
Of course, then again, you're working with Beakley, so we'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Tell us about the blue and gold game. Tell us about the experience, and tell us about how much fun you had chasing quarterbacks down.
I loved it so much, just being the tackles every time, getting the quarterback mostly every play. Had a couple of tackles there, and hopefully I can do it again next year.
Now, the most interesting part about that game is your team, the gold team, won 33-9.
Yeah.
People talk about an all-star game, and everybody gets a chance to play. With the coaches, did they really want to win that football game?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a big part of it?
Oh, yeah, I can tell, big time.
So it wasn't like, let's get everybody in the game and have fun. Let's go win.
Bit of both.
But obviously winning was important because 33-9, nobody backed off. We will be on TV on Saturday, that's May 11th, that's tomorrow, with the replay of that game, and you will have the opportunity to see this guy chase quarterbacks down. He did an absolutely tremendous job.
Thank you.
You were outstanding, and we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks
Mason Bennett from the Vincent Massey Trojans and Team Gold at the blue and gold game on tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow afternoon on Shaw TV, and make sure you look for number 27 because he's pretty hard to miss. When we come back, we got lots more on the Huddle. It's community created on Shaw TV.
May I walk you across the street?
Sure. Why not? Thanks.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to the Huddle. We promised lots of stuff today, and we got Dean Lytle. Hi, Dean.
Well,
How are you?
I'm lots of stuff.
Yeah, you are. Dean Lytle does a whole bunch of stuff. He's employed by the Huddle. He's part of us. And he played at Notre Dame, and he played for the Bombers, and he's been around. But football is a big deal for you, obviously, still. And you've got a big camp coming up. Let's talk about it.
I do. Sports U, football camps, coming up this June. And so what I wanted to do is provide something for football players based on position and to really focus on the different aspects of the position. So the first camp we have is a passing camp, and that'll be your quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. We'll go over all the passing game.
Does anybody use a tight end anymore?
You know what? They should. Partly because maybe I could still play if they did, but although I play fullback. But when we identify those big receivers, and certainly in the game now, with the tight ends that are being used, especially in NFL nowadays, you could be a receiver or a tight end. So if there's any 6'9" kids that want to come to camp, we'll make sure that they know the passing game too and know how to block as well. So. But yeah, the first one is passing camp. Those positions that I mentioned, quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back. Then the second one we're calling the trenches, which is my favorite, which is the big positions, the front seven. So offense, defensive line, linebacker, running back.
Now, is this where you're bringing the fullback as the blocking back?
Yes,
it is.
it
Who
is.
is basically the sixth offensive lineman.
Yes, it is,
Okay.
especially when I played. I don't know why that was, but
they didn't want you to have the football.
Well, I played with Chris Walby, and I felt like just a tackle, right beside Chris, blocking the same guys he blocked. But yeah, so
it's nice to have help.
Yeah, at least I like to think I helped him.
Oh,
I don't know if
sorry.
I don't know if you've seen the size of Chris, but didn't need to help too much. But then the second.
I wasn't referring to Chris.
Yeah, well, hey. I won't say another word.
Anyway, so the trenches come next.
Then the trenches are the big positions that we're focusing on, and that is June 8 and 9. And then the last one I'm calling is prime time, which is geared towards all positions. It is for players who want to focus on the fundamentals rather than the larger aspects of strategy of football. The first-year players and then players that have been playing that really want to hone down on their fundamentals. So that one, the third one is June 15, 16.
How's the response been so far?
The response has been great so far. Lots of inquiries. There's folks that are signing up right away from all over the city. We've got a few coming from Dauphin, Portage. So I think it's a good response so far, and I hope to have lots more before the first.
Is there age restrictions on this?
No age restrictions other than you have to at least be football age age, and meaning in the morning we're going to be starting with our 7 to 13-year-olds together, all those separated somewhat by age group and ability, and then in the afternoon we're starting 14 and up. We've got as old as all the way up to adult, boys and girls.
So once again, the dates of the Sports U camps are June
1-2, passing camp. June 8 and 9, the trenches are our big positions. And June 15, 16 is our prime time, all positions.
And if they want to sign up, how do they get a hold of you?
They go to www.sportsuniversity.ca. Just go to the 2013 football camps and sign up.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, should be.
I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
I want to go to the trenches camp with you.
The trenches,
Yeah.
Look like a running back.
Fullbacks.
Running back.
Yeah, right. Dean Lytle, thanks.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, dear, very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel so spring has sprung. And every time I see you,
You're not fooling anybody you know. Think young. Pass it on.
the moment that you speak.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back. As promised, what the ref? Dave Donaldson, nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Dave Donaldson today is going to talk about something that I've always found quite interesting. Tandem buck.
Yeah.
It's that situation where you're a running back and you take the handoff.
Right.
And it's short yardage.
Sure.
Maybe 3rd and a yard or 3rd and goal.
Yep.
And the running back heads to that hole off tackle. It closes up. And so the quarterback and the fullback get behind him and try to push him through.
Right.
It's illegal. I don't see it called very often.
Well, it's illegal if the ball carrier is being pushed or being pulled
by a lineman
into the forward progression to gain yards or to gain distance.
Now, quite often in a game, though, you will see a guy gets outside, a couple of linebackers hit him, and his linemen who have come out to block will continue to carry on their blocks, and as he's going down, they'll all kind of fall.
Well, I'll tell you what, in those situations, we're talking judgment now, right Scott? And for the most part, you're not going to see me make a call like that. It's really, for me, it's a 3rd down.
What we're talking about is an obvious situation.
Yeah, obvious where they're really, really helping that ball carrier gain yards, right? And in instances like that, it's a 5-yard penalty. Or if it's 3rd down and downs or distance is not gained, then it's the ball's turned over where the ball.
Now that's amateur. That's the amateur call, right?
Correct.
A different penalty in the pros.
Different yardage penalty in the Canadian Football League. If the same instance occurs, it's a 10-yard infraction rather than a 5-yard infraction. So that's the
and loss of down.
On 3rd down, right? If distance is not gained, right? Right. So. That's really the key.
But the distance that would be gained would have probably been illegal.
Well, then the ball be turned over.
Exactly.
Right?
That's all I needed to know.
Good.
Good job today.
You too.
You were great. Awesome. Dave Donaldson, what the ref. We have more, as promised. This is The Huddle. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
Community created on Shaw TV.
Oh! Great job. One place. Let's make this count.
I touched the ball before it went out, Coach.
Come on, Alex. The ref did not call that.
I touched it. It's their ball.
Alex.
Good call. Sportsmanship. Pass it on.
Wow.
You're almost getting too old for this.
Wow.
You're always
I'm exhausted at the end of these shows. 30 minutes of TV feels like I've been here for 3 days. I'm worn out. We had too many defensive linemen on the show.
There you go. That's
They're
the
all
problem.
just too big.
There was a lot of D linemen.
Yeah, we had Mason and Good Sport played 10 questions with us, and so did Eddie and Dawn. And speaking of good sports, Mason will be on TV tomorrow night.
That's right.
The Blue and Gold game will be here on Shaw TV, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. It's the replay of the game from last Saturday. We were out at Eastside Eagles Field, had so much fun with Tanner and Ryan Kessler and the crew, and the game was great. Yeah. And, of course, you were the offensive coordinator for the team that won 33-9, so you're happy. And Mason Bennett, your defensive lineman, killed the other team's poor quarterbacks. I felt so sorry for them.
Game.
He had a tremendous game. Thanks to Eddie and Dawn. Thanks to Dean Lytle. We got to run real fast. Apparently, there's going to be
it's the buzzer beater ending.
The buzzer beater ending. It's been fun. It's been a great show, and it's always good to have Eddie and Dawn on. Thanks to Mason. Thanks to Dean. We'll be back next week on The Huddle, community created on Shaw TV.
Hi, I'm Andrew Harris from the BC Lions. For all your football information, watch The Huddle, community created on Shaw TV.